Guardian deity, Tokusaburo, now over 80 years old, was born as the third of 10 siblings, just as his name suggests. When he was about 6 or 7 years old, his family home, which was a rice store in Atsuta, Nagoya, was robbed. I'll never forget that night when the cold winter wind was howling, and Tokusaburo's father was away at a rice market in Osaka. Tokusaburo, his siblings, his mother, and his grandmother were sleeping on the second floor. On the first floor, the live-in clerk, a clerk, and about 10 maids were sleeping. Around 2 a.m., Tokusaburo and his family were woken up by a banging sound on the first floor, followed by screams that must have been from the maids. The grandmother, shocked, went to the stairs to check, but sat down, fainting and crying out, "Eeek!" Right behind her, 3 or 4 robbers ran up, and the man who seemed to be the leader of the group kicked the old woman away and shouted at my mother, "Where's the key to the rice storehouse?" My mother desperately protected her eldest daughter, aged 10, her second daughter, aged 8, her eldest son, Takuzu, her second son, aged 4, her third son, aged 3, and her newborn third daughter, and took them out of the drawer and handed them the key to the rice storehouse. "Okay, you're being honest, but then it'll be troublesome if we talk about it later. Sorry, but you'll all die," the men said, with devilish looks on their faces, as they tried to attack my mother, Takuzu, and the other brothers. But then, the robbers suddenly stepped back, as if they were scared of something. What is this? You were supposed to be dead. No way. Oh, it's scary." The robbers all screamed and fled. One by one, they fell down the stairs with a thud. The robbers' lives were apparently spared, but they were all found seriously injured, with bruises and fractures all over their bodies, and were taken away by the police, who had arrived after being called by the store manager. The detective was puzzled as to why grown men had been pushed down the stairs by women and children. When he asked his grandmother and mother, they just shook their heads and said, "I don't know." However, the eldest and second daughters, as well as the eldest son, Tokusaburo, all said something incomprehensible. I couldn't see him, but I felt like my father was there. In fact, that afternoon, Tokusaburo's murdered father's body had been found at the port. As you might guess, it was the same group of robbers that killed Tokusaburo's father and drowned him in the harbor. The time was during the Great Depression, so it must have been around 1929. A storm of recession was sweeping across the world. Large companies were going bankrupt, one after another, and the streets were filled with unemployed people. It was around the time that Japan began to roll downhill. During such times, a series of unbelievable, unreasonable, and tragic incidents occurred. It wouldn't have been surprising if we'd all been massacred. How did we survive? I still can't believe it, Tokusaburo recalls.